friends. This is another episode of What's on the Table, and I'm John from All Miniatures Great and Small. However, today I was going to do just a normal What's on the Table, but I've got so many projects that have kind of come in that I've been working on, I've been bouncing back and forth with and working on the channel, that I thought I would make this more of a channel chat while showing off what I'm working on. That way too, not only can I tell you kind of what our plans are, what we're working towards, but hopefully get some feedback from you guys as far as what you want to see in the channel, what you're liking, and things like that, so we can make sure to produce content that you guys enjoy. So I've got all kinds of crazy projects on my table. I don't think I did a What's on the Table, at least a dedicated one last week, because at least it doesn't feel that way, because it seems like I got a lot of stuff on my table. So I guess the first thing we're going to talk about is hopefully this is going to be the last of my Bagration Soviets. So I picked up a couple of packs of the Soviet mortar, infantry mortars, and each pack comes with 3 of the 120 millimeter on a big base and 3 of the 82 millimeter on the medium-sized base. So I picked up 2 packs so I can have 6 of each. As far as the units go, they're pretty basic mortars. Really, the big improvement from here to here is the 120 millimeter has, I think, one better firepower, a 3+ firepower instead of a 4+, and a little bit further range. But their save is worse, so I'm not sure how how great they are, particularly since 6 of these cost 2 more points than 6 of those. I think those are 6 points for 6, and these are 4 points for 6. But with that said, the packs were pretty cool. One of the packs came with the little the flexible plastic, and one of the packs came with kind of like a hard resin, or hard. It wasn't a plastic like the plastic tank kits or what comes in the Hit the Beach starter set, but they were a little bit harder plastic. But the detail is really good. So the idea with these was I wanted to knock them out quickly. Mortars aren't a unit I'm going to be using a lot of or very often, so I didn't want to spend too much time with them. So what I did was I actually based them first, and then I did some of the Gray Sear primer from GW, and I used contrast paints for the uniform. And you can see what I've done here. I haven't done the straps or any detail work yet, but you can see what that contrast paint does for these uniforms. It looks really good. I was really surprised. It was a shortcut method. I think it looks, at least for the uniform shirts, better than my normal method. I mean, just look at that shirt there and how all that just comes out for free using contrast. So, and I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but if I ever paint more Soviet infantry, I'm probably going to do that. Also got a shout out to Agros Earthshade. That's the color I've been using a lot of. In fact, I bought a couple more bottles. Not only did I use it for the uniforms here, but I also use it for almost all of my basing. So that is the same color, just a little bit thicker on the base. And then it's going to get a highlight and then some static grass and a couple of bushes, and then we'll call it done. But really, I'm just going to pick out the straps, and these guys are pretty much going to be done and ready for action. And like I said, this is probably going to be the last of my Bagration Soviets. I don't think I'm missing anything else short of just adding more T-34s, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for that project yet. So as far as Flames of War, obviously Flames of War isn't going anywhere on the channel. Our Patreon is pretty popular. We have quite a few patrons now, and it's everyone seems to like what we're doing. If you're not a patron, check out our Patreon. I'll leave a link in the video description below. We have, I think, 7 battle reports in backlog that are exclusive to patrons, and we release a new one every month for patrons. As far as what you get on YouTube, some months on YouTube we'll release Flames of War battle report, but that might be a Team Yankee battle report or something else. We don't, I don't, or I can't promise a Flames of War battle report on YouTube every month as much as I would like to. There's just so many days I can dedicate to, you know, a full day of gaming and filming. All right, so there you go. That's that. Hopefully next time you'll see them, it will be in a battle report. The next thing that Jake really wanted to do and got me excited about was busting out Star Wars Legion again. So I did get the core box set for the Clone Wars. I forget if that has a subtitle or whatever. And I did manage to pick up several of the expansions. You might have seen some recent unboxings. So this is just a battle droid, just the basic line trooper guy. And I wanted to kind of settle on a paint scheme for him. So this was what I finally went with, kind of an, again, I'm using Agros Dune, and I think it's Skeleton Horde, the lighter shade, just kind of a mix between the two. Contrast paint on here. I think I did a zenithal highlighting with, I spray painted it black and then did the white from the top. So you can see what we're going for here. Each squad would probably be picked out with a different highlight color. These guys are reds. They're security or something. The red shirts. But anyway, that's kind of my concept. And again, you can see I'm using the same basing across almost all of my games these days. Once you dry brush them and put different color static grass, I think that's just a great earthy color to start with. So there you go, Star Wars Legion. And again, if you guys want to see Star Wars Legion, let me know down in the comments below. We are going to play a game and do some more coverage, but you know, it's kind of, at least for our channel, a niche thing that we do. So there you go. All right, so I painted up him as kind of my sample. The other thing I've been working on is more of these ships. Jake and I recently played and filmed a Black Seas battle report where we each had a single third rate as kind of our flagship. Third rate is a ship with 74 guns in this case. So it made me bust out and start working on 2 more third rates for my French. So that's what you see here. These are pretty close to being rigged. I need to do some minor highlighting work, but you can kind of see what we're working on here. These are the plastic ones, although this one has a metal backplate. That's why it has a name. So hopefully we'll get more Black Seas on the channel, because Jake and I had a really good time playing that game. The other thing we're working on is, or I'm working on, is I did get a couple more boxes of BattleTech miniatures. So I'm in the process of painting these guys. These ones are cool, and there should be an unboxing either sometime this week or the weekend for this particular box. These two I went with the blue scheme. I'm just blocking in the blue right now, so they really are kind of plain, but you can kind of see. And these are the Robotech inspired, not stolen. I think they have the rights for them now. You know, Macross designs. So that's pretty cool. The Rifleman and I forget what they call them. Tomahawk? No, Tomahawk's the Macross name. But anyway, I like these two miniatures, so I wanted to start with them first. Then, from Warlord Games, so the guys who make Black Seas, announced a Civil War epic scale game, and American Civil War. So I had to dive into that because of my history with American Civil War. So basically, it's really cool. It's the way that they're modeling these is that they're putting all the guys together in a strip. And I have an unboxing of the base set that's also going to be coming out sometime this week. But you can kind of see I'm painting them on the sprues. They come in the sprue. And the starter set comes with, like, oh, I don't know, 15, 20 of these things. Watch that video to see the exact number. I might be, but a ton of these things. But you see each one of these each one of these sprues is 10 guys just kind of molded shoulder to shoulder, which is pretty realistic, and from a distance it gives a really cool scale effect. Again, these were done with contrast paints. So I did contrast for basically the big part of the uniform. I'll probably do contrast for the rifles, and then pick out everything else, normally the straps or whatever. And then you can see these are like some tester miniatures I'm working on. I haven't done any basing or anything like that. But you can see that each stand has 2 of those rows, so it gives a very cool look on the tabletop. It looks like what a Civil War battle should look like. So you'll have that to look forward to, because that's definitely going to be just a side passion project. I might have mentioned in my unboxing of this video, but I'll do it here too, that American Civil War was like the first little miniatures that I ever really played with. Growing up I had Star Wars figures and whatever, but as far as like detailed miniatures, my dad collected the Airfix 1/72nd scale American Civil War. He always wanted to make a diorama, so I had a bunch of those around the house that I played with when I was really young, and lined them up and had imaginary battles, and I think that is what got me on my hobby journey. So this is really cool. I've actually collected 15mm American Civil War before, but this just looks really cool. These aren't quite 15mm. I don't know if I put it next to a guy that's standing over here. They're more like, I think someone said 12 or 12.5mm. And I know that's not a scale, but that's like the height from the ground to the eyeballs. But anyway, so I've got a ton of those guys to paint. I don't think I'm going to be talking Jake into painting any with me. But it comes with artillery, commanders on horseback, and then there's a bunch of accessories that are coming out, or additions like the Iron Brigade. I think I have that on order. Some Zouaves, which are the puffy pants, fez wearing guys that look really cool. So there's a lot to look forward to. So I've got a lot of these models because there is just a ton of stuff. So you will be seeing that more as that hobby journey continues. So we have that. All right, and then last but not least, I wanted to continue some work on my Boom and Zoom game. So really, so there was a question on Quora. I don't know if you guys visit that site, but basically it's where you can ask a question and then people answer your question. So I like it for the military aspect and the historical aspect. They have a lot of that on there. So one of the questions was, how would the Battle of Midway been different if the British had been, the Navy was there instead of the U.S. Navy? So I wrote a pretty detailed answer, and I actually played it out on some of the air attacks using my Boom and Zoom Pacific to kind of get an idea of what the results might have been. I had a lot of fun with that, and it made me realize I'd been putting Boom and Zoom Pacific on the back burner for far too long. So I wanted to revisit that. So I ordered some British carriers so I could actually play for real, and I really like what I got. So normally I'd been using GHQ, which makes awesome miniatures in this scale, and this is 1/2400 scale. But I wanted to do these British editions on the cheap. So what I did was I ordered from the company was XP Forge, and they market these as Axis and Allies compatible miniatures. However, they give you lots of options for scale, so you can get them in different scales, and they're simplified. They're not quite as detailed as GHQ, but they're like half the cost. I think each one of these illustrious class carriers costs $10. So I picked up a couple of those and the Hermes, which is the first aircraft carrier. The flight deck I actually sanded down, so that's why you see it scuffed up a little bit. It didn't come that way, so don't knock XP Forge for that. That's me, because I'm about to prime it. But I really like them, so I wanted a couple of carriers to be able to game out the British versus the Japanese in a midway type scenario. While I was there, I couldn't avoid, I needed to order my second Lexington class carrier. This is going to be the Saratoga. And also I did that so I can compare the Saratoga, this model, to the GHQ version. So this is the GHQ Lexington. And you can see, the detail on the guns, the crane, the gunwales. You can see each one of those gun mounts. Sorry, I have Agric's Earthshade still in my hands after washing it a couple of times. Whereas this one from XP Forge is not quite as detailed. But I think when you paint it up and at gaming distance, you're not going to be able to tell. And the kind of consistency, if you're worried about purchasing from two different companies, you can kind of see that these guys are the same length, which is pretty cool. So these were the 4 things I ordered from XP Forge. They threw in a couple of samples. One of them was really cool. This looks like the Bismarck in clear resin. And this cruiser, which I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head. It doesn't look familiar, but you can always use some escorts for your carriers. So I've got those I'm going to paint up. So being the person always looking for painting shortcuts, I also ordered from a different company some flight deck decals. So this is from flightdeckdecal.com. And I've used these guys before. That's actually what's on the Lexington here. And basically it just, I could paint it, but I'm a lazy painter. I want to take the path of least resistance, and that's going to go there. I've got, you paint the deck to kind of match this color, and then you slide it on. It's not the easiest thing in the world to slide on, but boy, it looks slick. And hand painting these white lines is just annoying, and it never looks good enough. And then I got a flight deck for the Hermes as well, which is pretty cool. Then, last but not least, an aircraft carrier is just a target unless you provide it with some airplanes. So I ordered from Pico Armor some airplane packs. So I've got Swordfish, so these are the torpedo biplanes. Each pack comes with 8 planes. I've got Fulmer, Mark I Fulmers. And then, I know these aren't carrier based, but I wanted them for the Pacific anyway. These are a pack of Hurricane fighters, which I think just look cool. These are, so I ordered them from Pico Armor because I'm in the United States, but these are 1/600 scale models. They're made in Poland, and that's the actual company that makes them. I think a Polish speaker just was amused at my pronouncing of a Polish name, so I'm not going to try to pronounce that. But if you're in the UK or Europe, there might be other distributors, or directly from them you can get these. But I like Pico Armor here. They've always been really fast and really friendly, and that's a good thing. So each one of these packs too is like just, I don't know, $4 or $5. So I really didn't spend a lot of money to add some British to my boom and zoom. All right. Oh, last thing I ordered from Pico Armor as well was just a decal sheet for British airplanes because, again, I'm lazy. I don't want to hand paint those markings onto the little tiny airplanes. This is already enough work as it is. So there you go, guys. That is kind of all the projects that are on my table. A lot of things. There's a lot of things I want to do that I just kind of run out of time during the day. But you can kind of see what's going on. I think the BattleTech stuff was pretty well received by a lot of folks, and the battle report we did. So I think Jake and I want to do another battle report to have, to get more content out there. And I'll do some unboxings. I've got 3 or 4 new boxes I need to open up and take a look at. Then, of course, with Flames of War, that's not going anywhere. That's our most popular content. So we'll probably be seeing another infantry versus infantry game soon, so I can actually put these guys on the table and do something with them. Because, let's be honest, in a very tank-heavy game, these guys aren't going to be doing much. Then we have Black Seas, which I think people constantly ask me about Black Seas because I did a how to play, and that seemed to be well received as well. So we've been getting around. We've been promising a Black Seas battle report for almost a year. So I've got one filmed that needs to be edited. It's going to be going out sometime in April, and then we want to play another game with either my French or my American fleet. Then we've got, the Epic also to look forward to. I really want to do some stuff there. So that is something to look forward to in the future as well. The one game system I don't think I showed off or have anything right now is Team Yankee. Well, I shouldn't say I don't have anything at all. We have a whole British army that needs to be put together and painted. I have some additions to the Soviet army. And, I've got some additions to my American army. So there is quite a few Team Yankee. I just haven't wanted to get some of these other side projects out first. So there you go, guys. That's kind of an update. As far as the channel goes, we're still looking at trying to produce a battle report of some kind every month. We do unboxings, quite a few unboxings. I know some people don't like them. And they're not necessarily my favorite content to watch. But I think they can be cool. They can serve a purpose. They show you what you're getting, and also it's pretty easy to film those and get them out for you. So that's why you see them. So I think they do serve a purpose, though. And then obviously we're going to be doing more how to play. I actually filmed a How to Play Flames of War series, which is in editing. That one's going to take a little bit longer because there's going to be a lot more editing involved with that one. But it is something for you guys to, to look forward to. Then, I dabbled in how to paint and how to assemble. Those videos really don't get a ton of views, and particularly the how to paint something is quite intensive as far as editing. So I don't think I'm going to be doing many of those unless there's just a ton of requests for it. But plus I'm not the world's best painter. I go for speed if I can. Alright, guys, there you go. That's kind of a channel chat, what we're up to at the channel. I should say too, with some of the lifting of COVID restrictions, hopefully we will be seeing more more battle reports and more people coming in. We've had Mark and Jacob in. We've all been vaccinated, so it's all good there. But we should hopefully see some more folks coming in and some more varied games and opponents. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Please do let us know down in the comments below what you think on any of these projects. Have you played anything? What are you looking forward to? That kind of thing. Also, we'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. That just lets us know what you like. And then click that bell to receive notification for new content. If you do like our Flames of War content, again, do check out that Patreon. And as always, thanks for watching, and keep on wargaming.